Hello and welcome to Immortal Behaviour for this week.
Many ways to win a game. Get your team home as a halfback. He won the game with his kick and go.
Andrew kicks back and across. It has been a freakish kick by Andrew John.
I thought he'd maybe retire, but forgive me, Father, for I have said.
Maybe God has come to Marathon.
Welcome back to another episode of Immortal Behaviour. Joey, great to see you. You look exhausted. Been surfing.
Been surfing, yeah.
Good waves?
Terrible life, yeah, big.
Big waves? Did you show everyone up?
No, not at all. I've got that much water. Swallow that much water, so might be coming out the other end. Charming.
That's a great image to start off. All right,
yes.
let's get straight onto the footy. We don't want you thinking about that for too long.
I mean my nose.
Oh,
coming
right,
out,
okay, all right, yeah, okay.
Salt water.
Yes. All right, plenty happening at the Manly Sea Eagles this week with Manly telling Josh Schuster that he's free to look around. He's on a pretty big money contract. By all reports, it's around $800,000. Was this always going to be an issue for Manly with a player on that money without having that experience?
Well, everyone knows Josh is Achilles' heel is his fitness and his weight. So it was always going to be up to Josh to get rock hard fit. And for a while there, he lost some weight. I think at one stage he lost 14 kilos, but it cannot be driven by the trainer. The trainer can't be there 24/7. That's where the player's got to take some ownership. And if you're getting paid big money, and from a club, there's a price to pay. And you have to pay that price every day when you go to training. You got to drive the standards. You got to be in there, and so the young players are seeing what you're doing and how you're preparing and how you're getting yourself rock hard fit. And it's up to Josh. I just hate to see him with that talent, waste that talent. Everyone can see the talent. I'd hate to see him waste the talent he's got.
Were you surprised when he did sign on that much money?
No, because it's potential. Everyone can see he has the potential to be in the top 5 players in the game if he got rock hard fit and played at 100, 105 kilos because he's a big body. So they signed him on potential. Everyone can see the potential Josh has. So I think everyone in the game would love to see him fulfill that potential, because I'd hate to see him become a club hopper where clubs buy him and think I'll get the best out of him, and then he just goes from club to club, and then he's got to live with that regret the rest of his life. So I wish him well, and like everyone, we just want to see the best reach his potential. What
position do you actually think he's best suited to when he's at his peak fitness?
5'8". That's
definitely.
I don't think he's got the. The fitness to play in the back row or lock. There's no chance he'd play in the middle of the field. 5'8's his spot. Predominantly a left side player. You just put him out on the left side and let him play out there.
Because by all reports, the issue has been his fitness and playing at a heavier weight than what he should be, and what is going to get the best out of him. What coach do you think in the NRL at the moment is someone who is able or could be able to get the best out of him, or does that not even matter? It just comes down to your personal.
Doesn't matter. As I said, they can't be there 24/7. Seeing what he's eating and what he's not eating. At the end of the day, I think everyone sees Josh just has to take ownership of it and wish him well. I'd love to see him reach his potential. I'd hate to see him finish up and then live with that regret of just what could have been.
What club do you think would go after him?
Well, the Dragons need some flair in the halves. The other one is obviously the Titans.
Link back up with Des.
Link up with Des, yeah. So they're probably the two that jump out.
Well, he's got the relationship with Des, and I think Des was pretty helpful with him as well with pre-season training. So maybe one to watch out for.
I'd love to see him reach that potential we can all see.
We all want to see those superstar players hit their heights.
He can do stuff no one else can. And for such a big body, when he was on fire, that left side, him and Turbo, he couldn't stop it. He knew it was coming, but the silky skivels and the change of speed and the no-look pass, We know he's got that, but it's the other stuff he needs to work on.
Well, maybe this could be the moment for him. All right, some other clubs that have been in the headlines pretty much for the last few weeks, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. There's some speculation that Mal Meninga could be the preferred option to take over as caretaker coach for the remainder of this year if Jason Demetriou does lose his job after their match against the Cronulla Sharks. Were you surprised seeing Mal's name?
Well, Mal's name wasn't even on the radar. Never even heard. There was no even talk. There's been no talk of Mal being a club coach for the last, I don't know, half a dozen years since he finished up with Queensland and took over the Australian job. So this is really left field. I think everyone is quite surprised by it.
It'd be a big change for him, though, going from what he's been used to the last few years with that Australian job. You're not doing that week in, week out NRL club training and getting your team up ready to go, every few days.
Yeah, he knows what needs to be done and how they structure it up. I can't remember the last time he coached Canberra. Yeah, well, might be 20 years ago. It's a long, long time ago.
Do you think he'd be a good fit?
Well, once again, it comes up to the players. The players have got to drive the standard. And when he coached Queensland, obviously he had JT and Cronk and Cameron Smith and Billy. They were the ones driving the standards. They get into camp. Wouldn't matter what happened the night before. If they had a bonding night, those four would be in the gym or on the field setting the standards. So the relationship between the coach and the senior players is huge. Hopefully Mal can get the best out of Latrell. That's the thing. I think there's a lot of mutual respect there. So, we'll see what happens. But I was really surprised. Really left field.
Would you, I wonder what Mal would be, is it that those people have that that drive, that ambition where...
As in becoming a coach?
Yeah.
Well, Mal's got the aura. Mal's, it's such a huge figure. And I spoke about the Queensland, the dominance there, that 9-year dominance, the way he managed that and managed different egos. But once again, that at Queensland, those 4 champion players, they drove the standards. That's the big thing. He's going to have to get to his senior players and have that trust with the senior players where, Mal's not the one with the big stick hitting all the other players. It's got to come from the players.
Well, plenty will certainly unfold in the next few days for the Bunnies. All right, on to the Raiders. You said yesterday on Freddy in the 8 that getting this Raiders side to the finals would be one of Sticky's greatest achievements. Why is that?
Oh, there's a big change in the off-season. Jack Wighton, their star player, went to South Sydney, and he's such an influential player of that team. And also is the 5'8", the way they play. I got to say, I thought they'd be in the bottom 4, like a lot of teams. I did not give the Raiders a hope. I know we're only, less than a quarter of the way through the competition, but geez, the way they're playing and the young forwards, Mariota, yeah, Trey Mooney. I just can't read my handwriting. Emre Gula, he's coming into the sweet spot of his career. These young forwards.
You've got
Pasami Sua. Yeah.
You've got quite neat handwriting, I have to say.
Yeah. That's from the school. I will not do this. I will not do this.
Is that detention?
Yeah. Fantastic job. And not only that, the way he's changed the way he is coaching the team with the players in the key position. Danny Levi was washed up at Newcastle. Did he go maybe went to another club after Newcastle? Didn't do much.
He's
killing it. Absolutely killing it. And then you got Ethan Strange, the young 5'8", who, the way he's playing, he's just totally simplified the way he plays the game. And I got to say, Jamal Fogarty, he's just, with the extra responsibility, he is absolutely killing it.
He's flourishing, that's for sure. Yeah. How do you think that they have been able to fill that void of Jack Wighton so well? Because that was the whole discussion in the preseason, is how are they going to fill this void of a superstar like Jack Wighton going?
Well, he's changed the way they play. They play a pretty simple sort of game. I watched him at Newcastle when they thumped Newcastle in round 1. They were just relentless. They played fairly simple. They just had the power game with those young forwards. And on the end of sets, Jamal Fogarty just kicked them to corners. Geez, they were good. Just And they look all on board. They look really happy. Strong forward pack. Hudson Young, Papali'i, the young Englishman, Smithies. Tarpon is one of the best front rowers in the game. Those forwards just lay the platform. They've got to say, Jamal Fogarty, so good to see.
Where would you rank Jamal at the moment in terms?
Halves?
Yeah,
well, he's right up there with the form halves in the competition. The way he's going, if anything happened at DCE, he'd be a big chance for Queensland.
Yeah.
He's from Queensland, is he?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's from Queensland.
He's
from northern New South Wales. Isn't that right, Bill?
Yeah, Bill would have something to say
No,
about
I've got to
that.
say, I've been watching him very closely, Jamal, and just his control of the game, he's elevated himself. Since Jack's gone, he's the extra responsibility, and he's captain, isn't he? He's the captain of the team. Well, he looks like he's taking a big leadership role, but his kicking, his temperament, the way he's organising the team, he's the full package. Some of his torps, he's putting the big torps up. It's really good.
Yeah.
And they complement each other. Ethan Strange is a running young half. He's playing tough, and Jamal's leading the team around and organising and kicking, but geez, they're playing well.
And for Ethan Strange as well, I think he'd only played one game heading into this season.
I saw him play in the New South Wales 19s, where he may have got man of the match last year or the year before. He played centre in that game. Played number 3. I just remember watching it.
That's right, we did that game, yeah.
That was up at Redcliffe.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, geez, this young bloke's a goer. Geez, he's tough. And then when I saw him picked at 5'8", I was like, oh, this is left field, because I've only ever seen him play in the centres, but he's killing it. Absolutely killing it.
We haven't done a game in Redcliffe all season this year.
Remember the last time at Redcliffe? I went to the wrong hotel.
So we landed in Brisbane. We all drove to Redcliffe. And Joey thought we were going to Suncorp, and he went into the valley, went to check into the hotel.
J2's mate's hotel. They went, no, mate. So then I look at the thing. The game's at Redcliffe. So how far away is Redcliffe? They said, well, it's peak hour. It's about an hour and 45. It was like after Origin losses. Bawling my eyes out.
We said, all right, we'll see you soon.
Yeah. I got to the hotel. I had time to have a shave. Straight to the game. And then in the morning I had the early flight out. The taxi didn't turn up. Thank the Lord Brace walked out with a car. Otherwise, I was absolutely effed. I was going to be stuck.
What's the steam coming out of yours?
No, there was no steam coming out. I was just crying. It was just, I had the saddest head on. The bottom lip was out. I just sat in the back of the taxi reading my book. I'd look up and just, the car just wasn't going. It was just in gridlock. Anyway, we can laugh
memories,
about it now.
memories from Redcliffe. Have I've
First time I've ever been there.
Have you
Redcliffe
ever
last
missed
time.
a plane
Never.
in your... I have to say, out of everyone, you are always at the gate before everyone. You're even, no matter what happens...
No matter what happens.
before.
No matter what happens.
There was one time in...
Queensland.
Oh, was
It
it
was after
Queensland?
Origin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
When
it
we lost
was.
the
Yeah,
series.
yeah, that's right. And I was walking to the gate with Gal, and he's going, "There's no way Joey will be here." And I was like, "I bet you 100%." I go, "No matter what happens the night before,
And
he's
there's
always
Dennis the
first."
walking on the tarmac. I was all like, I had the sad head on that morning.
Yeah,
too.
you've never missed a flight. I love that. I've done it once.
Yeah, I've never missed a
Oh,
flight.
it's the worst feeling.
I'd hate that.
Yeah, it's
I'd
the
hate
worst
that.
feeling. I woke up and it was the time that my flight was supposed to depart. Yeah.
Yeah, even if I get to the airport and have a sleep, I still don't miss it.
Any airports comfortable for you?
Oh, well, TripAdvisor advises there's a couple of good ones in southeast Queensland.
All right, let's talk about, well, we're going to talk about a Queenslander here. DCE reports that Manly are preparing to enter talks to extend him past 2025, which would take him beyond his 37th birthday. Do you think that that's because of the game, the modern game?
Yeah, they looked after. They train. They train different.
It's
the sports
remarkable,
science.
though.
And they, the professionalism. They're constantly getting treatment on their body. They're doing extra work with Pilates and yoga and all that sort of stuff. Nutrition is a big thing in it, but he's a pro. He's a professional, Daly. It's amazing how he is one of the players who has got to 30 and has played better, over 30. It's an incredible story. And I'd be signing him up a year at a time. I'd get it done. Just keep signing for a year. Because, so the end of next year, which is 37, he could play for another 3 years. Because he hasn't lost his speed. There has been no major injuries. Touch wood, he doesn't get any knees or shoulders. So he hasn't had 2 or 3 knee reconstructions or shoulder reconstructions. So the body is sound. It's just up to him if he wants to keep fresh. And he looks like he's still loving playing.
And still on that big money, do you think he's still
but
worth it?
He doesn't play for money. He's one of the players that, without a doubt, you say, righto, you got to play for 2 months without getting paid. Nothing to change. The way he prepares, the way he trains, the way he plays. He just loves playing.
Do you think if you were Manly, you'd say, all right, we want to sign you up for, every single year? Would Manly have it in their mind, say, maybe not Origin? But I can't see.
Well, that happened to me.
Yeah.
And our coach was the Queensland coach.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michael Hagan. Yeah, that may be a big point. But I have no doubt in the world, Daly, when he starts negotiating, will take a haircut. He'll understand that whatever he's on, so it's over $1 million. I think he'll take a haircut because he has to be a one-club player. He should not play for another club. And I remember a story Peter Parr told me. I don't think he'd mind, or JT would mind, that when they were negotiating with the great JT, and it was to and fro, and Parr said, "Look, we can pay you that, but you won't have Matt Scott. We won't have the money to pay Matt Scott if we pay you that amount." JT said, "Yep. Get the clippers out. Give me a haircut. I need Big Thumper there."
But that's it. You want to be playing in a team.
You want to play in a team, and any halfback knows you don't need pop guns in front of you. You need the big boys rolling forward. I have no doubt that Daly will be the one saying, "I'll take a haircut, but let's keep this team together." They've got a window to win a comp next couple of years, maybe even this year.
Well, if they can't actually agree to anything, could you see him going elsewhere?
No. It'll be done. It'll be done. Daly's mature enough to know that how the salary cap works, and he'll take a haircut. I have no doubt in the world.
What legacy do you think that he'll leave in the game?
It's funny with Daly. He won the premierships early with him and Kieran in the late 2009, around that. Jeez, he's been around for a while. And there was a time there when he backflipped on the Titans. Yeah. Pretty much, he was a bit of a pariah. Queensland were booing him, and he was a bit of an outsider, even amongst the Queensland gang, people up there with the players, and even at club level, wasn't real popular with some things. How am I going to say this diplomatically? But he's turned it around. He's rebuilt his career, rebuilt trust within the game, and everyone knows Daly. He's a great young. Well, he's not young. He's a boiler at the moment. He's 37, middle-aged. He's a great fella. So his legacy will be huge. Well, he's the most capped Manly player.
Yeah. So
the what are they? Northern Eagles. That doesn't count with Beaver. So that was a couple of years.
Yeah, so it's
but he's the most capped Manly player, and I don't think it'll be broke for a long time because he'll play upwards of 400 games.
Yeah.
He's still got another 3-4 years left in him.
Yeah.
And there's no halves around. I don't know what's coming through there in the junior system, but I got a funny story about Daly. When he first started playing for Queensland, and I was helping out Manly at the time, helping out Kieran and Daly there at Manly. Anyway, the day of the game, I was wandering the streets, the back streets. I can't go on the main streets. Anyway, it's about 10:30
of Queensland,
Queensland, Brisbane. About 10:30 in the morning. Yeah, the pubs are packed. This bloke comes in. He goes, "Hey, mate, thanks for looking after me, young bloke. I really appreciate you. The time you're putting into him. He loves it." I'm like, "Yeah." Now I can see this bloke was my sort of guy.
Yeah.
He looked a real character. And I said, "All right, who's your young bloke?" He goes, "Daly." I'm like, "Daly Cherry-Evans is your son?" He goes, "Yep."
Well, he was Mackay. He was born in Mackay. Yeah.
And I understand the Cherries a real strong, Gordon Tallis has told me, that it's a real strong rugby league family in Mackay.
Yeah.
So he looked a real character.
Well, he grew up playing with Ben Barber. He was of that Mackay era. But by all reports, he was like the golden child at school.
Oh, was
Daly,
he?
Yeah.
There's no rat in him.
No.
We played a trial. He told me this later, Daly. We played a trial match, and I actually vaguely remember it. Believe it or not, with my memory, we played a trial match and we were in the sheds, and it was February. It was that hot up there, so I had all the doors open, and I'm sitting there, and I had my boots off, these new Nikes. And next thing, this kid ran in and went to grab my Nikes. And they're like, shoot him out, get out. He was 12. So it was Daly. It was Daly.
Well, maybe he did have some in him.
Well, you should have come in and asked nicely. I would have given to you, you little rat.
There you go.
Daly's father, I'm trying to think what it is. I'm going to guess. Might be.
Well, I'm pretty sure his brother's a really good skateboarder. Yeah.
What's it called? Trusty Demons?
Yeah.
Inked up too. Tattooed right up.
All right, Troy.
I love meeting you outside that pub at 10:30 in the morning, and I'd love to have a beer with you. An extended one.
All right, well, I've got Brad Fittler texting me right now saying call. He's waiting we're doing a road trip up to Newcastle.
On his motorbike?
I hope not. I didn't pack my leathers.
I can see you as a biker chick. There she is.
Just
forgetting with the commentaries. Danika Mason. Hello, the commentaries. I'm not putting shit on you. I might cut that out.
me on the back or me riding the bike?
I don't know. I don't know why I'm there.
All right. Okay. So I want to know, what topic should I raise with Freddy in the car? We've got 2.5 hours.
Oh, yes.
What should I ask him?
Ask the length of the grass at McDonald Jones Stadium. Talk about the winter rye and in Vegas I actually met Graham, the grass. I saw a picture of you in the paper the other day.
Of him?
He was talking about the flooding in Warragamba Dam, and he must have his grass farm in Windsor.
He does. He was telling me about it. He showed me photos of it.
It's got the unmistakable melon.
Yes,
that's Freddie's name.
Yeah. Any other topics I should raise with Freddy?
Ask Freddy about back in the day when he was Mount Druitt Freddy.
Oh,
they were the best ones.
I've seen a snippet of it.
Mount Druitt Freddy when he's out.
It's a fun Freddy.
It's the best.
Yeah.
And he's back having a beer now. He was off it for like 10 years. He's so boring. Now he's the best. You see Mount Druitt Freddy come back there.
This is in Vegas. This is how he was just on the dance floor.
The old creepy Uncle Freddy.
Oh, good times. All right, well, I'll ask him about that. Is there Mount Druitt Freddy?
There's some stories I can't tell. We roomed together in Origin a few times.
Yep.
And he was always big on this. We've got to do something that Alfie and Kevy aren't doing. We've got to get the edge. So So one night, it was the middle of winter in Coogee. What's the Origin in June, July that time? So it's freezing. Just about to go to bed. He goes, right, what do you reckon Kevy and Alfie are doing? I said, probably sleeping. He goes, right, we're going down and we're going to go for a swim at the beach, that pool there in Coogee. We're going to do some underwater training and some swimming.
At what time?
It's like 10 o'clock at night, 10:30. It's freezing cold. I'm like, mate.
That's the ocean pool too.
No,
that's
the ocean pool. Come on. No, we've got to do it. And then we're on the field one time, the game's in the balance. And he's going, remember that swim? Alfie and Kevy weren't doing that. I said, yeah, I've half got pneumonia because of that, you idiot. We've got to do something there, not. Oh, let's go over here. Something.
Well, they'd be doing that, so.
I can imagine Alfie and Kevy hearing that. They would be pissing themselves.
They'd be at the pub just going, what idiots?
Look at these idiots. Andrew
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll ask and I'll report back for next week's episode of Immortal Behaviour. But that's all we have time for. Enjoy the footy over the weekend, and we'll see you again next week.
This year, NRL on 9 is your one-stop shop for all footy.
That's right, Freddy. Not about the highlights. Action. 7 days a week.
Billy and Gus podcast. Get that on your drive on the way home. Immortal Behaviour. Grab a seat on the couch for that. And, of course, my favourite, Freddy in the 8.
The best footy brains, the biggest games.
Don't trust the algorithm. Subscribe to NRL on 9 and get all your entertainment there.